How are we all doing tonight?
Doing well. Welcome to the first episode of the Journey for Greatness with Eric Daddario, the legend.
Yeah, that's me right there. Hey, right back at yourself, kiddo. Hey, don't sell yourself short now. Come on. You're a legend too. Come on now.
Hey, I'm humble. I'm humble. You know, you don't want to be too cocky. You know.
I like that. That's true. That's true.
We got a pretty exciting. I mean, there's never one like the first one. You know what I mean? You always remember the first one, and I feel like we got a pretty special first one planned. And so, we should just dive right in. Diddy, tell the crew here, since we have so many people listening. What the heck are we going to be talking?
Listen, before you get going, right? You may be saying that now, but folks, wait till you're still following us, you're still watching our stuff on YouTube in another 8, 9, 10, 12 months. Oh yeah, we will have a lot of followers. We will.
And that reminds me, Diddy, we should tell everybody where they can find us real quick. And we're gonna be just putting it up on YouTube. We're not gonna be getting anything crazy right now. Just starting out, we're gonna get it up on YouTube. And obviously Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, right? And I think
hey, tell them. Where can they find us on the social media too? You know, guys, we love if you throw us a friend request, follow. You know, chime in those comments whenever you put up our stuff, our pictures and whatnot. You know, we'd love to hear from you. So we got ourselves a Facebook, right? An Instagram, a Snapchat, right? Where can they find us, Tommy Boy?
And Twitter, that's it, and YouTube. So we got all of them covered. So, all right, let's get into it. So basically, we were thinking the first episode we would get into the background of both of us, which obviously interesting because we're both. What, Diddy, you're 29, and I think I'm 30. I think I'm 30.
Yeah. Oh, hey, give yourself a second thought. Are you sure about that? So we just, we're just we're thinking we need to start at the beginning, where we're from, our childhood memories, whatever the case is, good or bad, and then we can kind of go from there. Yeah.
So, you want to start, or do you want me to start, Diddy?
I mean, I could start, and I'm thinking too. We kind of just, we'll start from when we where we grew up and all that, and I think also too, kind of up to this point right now too, because I feel like we are who we are today because the stuff that we go through and whatnot, and that kind of molds us. So without further ado, I think I'm going to start us off.
Just start hammering away.
All right, here we go. Hey, ready? I'm the hammer. I'm about to nail in that hammer. Here we go. Ready? And then correction. Sorry about that. I'm about to hammer that nail in. So,
there you go. You got to hammer the nail.
Yeah. Anyways, So my name is Eric Daddario. I'm from just outside of Boston, just outside Medford, Massachusetts. If anybody's ever heard about it, great place. I'm one of 4 boys. So yes, as you can imagine, growing up, there was a lot of fist fighting going on in my house. There was a lot of King of the Mountain and stuff. Living outside the city. Kind of live, in a fast-paced area. There's always a lot going on and stuff. And I feel like, that's a big reason why I'm always I like to be in the go. I'm really never one to kind of just, sit around and do nothing.
Yep.
I always found it funny, actually. I always found myself outside doing something, I was never, as I said, summertime.
Diddy, I'm going to interrupt you. So I think a lot of us now, we look at, I think there's a lot of chatter about kids growing up, obviously, inside and all that stuff. Like,
Dude,
I know
yes.
for me personally, I want to ask you. I mean, you guys always were outside doing something, playing hockey, denting the. I actually remember traveling to stay at the Daddario household and looking at all the friggin' dents on your garage door. So I knew you were shooting pucks as a young lad.
Well, actually,
you know.
it's funny. Actually, let me just interrupt you there for a second. It's funny you say that because I did make dents in the old garage with pucks. But as a matter of fact, my dad kind of painted and patched them up, and so the younger one, the third child, the fourth one, the youngest one, Evan D. He actually made some more holes in that garage. So yeah, but no, continue. Yeah, so that garage went through 2 beatings, not just 1, 2. But keep going.
Jesus. No, yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I just think that I look back. So kind of just to interject, like, I'm from Rochester, so obviously being upstate New York, it's kind of a little bit of I wouldn't say slower pace, but I was in the burbs, I was in the suburbs, and
yeah.
But we had a really, really like cool street though, because like growing up, it was called Stony Path Lane, and I was like the youngest, so
That's a
I
great
was growing
name.
up.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
Stony Path Lane. I like that.
Stony Path. Only legends were born on Stony Path. You know what I mean?
Hey,
but,
you want something? I believe it, because that's you, buddy.
So we would basically. I didn't have brothers like what you were saying. I had one sister. She was 4 years older than me, and
Yep.
we would literally, like, from the earliest part that I can remember, one thing that sticks out is we had this little, like, basically like a makeshift, I guess you'd call it like a BMX fucking, sorry, we're not supposed to swear, right?
No, keep going.
Okay, no swearing.
Keep going. No swearing.
But
We'll keep PG.
So we all had bikes, right? And we would go over to this. We called it the jumps, and we would go over there after school, and we'd friggin' cruise around on this thing, and we'd like make jumps and ramps and all that crap, and we would have a blast. You know what I mean? Always outside doing something. And if we weren't doing that, we had a side street where we were playing hockey, or we'd go over to one of our buddies' house and play football or baseball, whatever. We were always doing something on the outside. So I think that's important. As a kid, when you're out there doing stuff like that, to get out,
Well, and it's funny you talk about that too. Actually, the fields I'm working in right now, I work at a gym, a strength and conditioning gym, best gym in the world. Mike Boyle Strength and Conditioning, best gym around, best gym in the world. But
legend. They got the legend.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, love it there. Not a better place to work. And anyways, one of the things actually that I'm noticing with a lot of the kids stuff nowadays too, and not just with talking to the kids that I work with, but also my brother, is that's definitely something that just doesn't happen enough anymore. Kids just don't get outside. I mean, it's funny you actually talk about going around and playing hockey and riding your bikes up jumps, because man, when I was little, as I said, I was always outside. Same thing. I got a park right around the corner from me. And if we weren't playing basketball, we were playing football. If we weren't playing football, we were playing hockey. If we weren't playing hockey, we were playing frisbee, something. But nowadays, I feel like kids are just like, they're always on their goddamn phones, It's either the phone, with the Instagram, the Snapchat, the Twitter, the Facebook, or they're playing their video games. No, seriously. Like, they don't get out of their freaking house enough. It's like, it's bad. I mean, they're stuck in their couch like zombies watching TV. I mean, it's crazy.
It's crazy. It is crazy.
It's almost a norm to sit in your house for a full Sunday, a full day, and watch Netflix and a whole series of a TV show. Like, it's crazy. Kids don't get out enough nowadays.
I 100% agree. And even, we even talk about kids, but so as I go up, I'm kind of like tracking back to when I was, say, because I don't remember way back, you know what I mean? Like, I remember probably when I first started playing, like, roller hockey, and, like, that was, like, my first entry into hockey was, like, playing roller hockey at, like, I was probably, like, 7 or 8, and, like, all those kind of memories, because I played hockey, organized hockey, like, through our rink put up, like a sport court for roller hockey.
Yeah.
I would play like in a league like there, but then we'd also play on the street. So I was like we were playing so much, you know, and it just, I don't know. I just feel like even as adults, we don't play enough. You know what I mean? Like even going out and doing stuff, and that's something that I think about that I need to do more of is just get out and do stuff that's like fun. You know, you don't feel like you're working out, but you feel like you're doing something. You know?
Exactly. No. Yeah, and there's definitely a plus to, you know, it's actually been a proven fact getting out and becoming one with nature and, you know, getting that breath of fresh air, man. That always helps. You know, you always feel better and you just feel refreshed. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, let's go back into the childhood. I mean, I'm trying to think. You know, growing up. Yeah, growing up. I mean, I know. I feel like we almost had not similar paths, but I can't think of anything specific. There was one time that I had to like stick up for myself. There was this one, like, you know, you talk about getting bullied or getting made fun of, or this or that. You know what I mean? And as an adult, I've even, you know, you get made fun of or you get your balls busted, so to speak. And I was thinking back to my childhood days of like, you know, being in school, kids, you know, getting picked on or something like that. Well, there was this like older kid, and his name, I can't remember his name, but he would always play hockey with us and stuff like that on the street. And I remember this kid, and he just was like I don't know how to describe him. He was just that guy, you know what I mean? He just kind of get everybody riled up and stuff. And so I ended up kind of sticking up for myself one time. And it's just funny, like you look back and you're like, because I relate it to my adult experiences where I've had to deal with some people that, you know, aren't the best leaders or, you know, they don't treat you the best. And it's like, you look back and you try to tie back some of those things back in childhood of like, all right, you know, I wasn't afraid to stick up for myself when I was a kid, you know what I mean? So where did that disconnect happen of like kind of sticking up for yourself? So I'm curious, like you come from a family of 4 boys, you know what I mean? Was that different because you had like an older brother, or you could be like, yo, like Anthony's gonna beat your butt, like don't mess with me, you know what I mean? Like on the playground or whatever.
This is actually a great platform to bring me into something I want to talk about. You know, I'm going to answer that question in a sec, but great platform to bring me into something that I wanted to talk about that kind of shaped my life. And you know, just you saying Anthony sticking up for me and stuff kind of reminded me of that. But you know, to go back to answer that question for a sec, it's actually kind of funny. You know, if something ever happened to me and I asked my older brother for some help, he would say no, like you're a big boy, kid.
Yeah.
You know?
Handle it, right?
So, and then I'd be like,
which is great. Like that's the way it should. Like you gotta.
Hey, you know, buddy, thanks, appreciate it. You know, thanks for the help, right? But the funny thing was, the person I didn't go ask, Brendan, my younger brother, he'd be by my side like a bull. Like, yo, dude, I got this. Let's go. Let's go, dude. Like, I got this. Like it's me and you. We're gonna get this kid. Let's go. So, and I'd be like, dude, like, what are you gonna do? Like you're like 2 years. You're 2 years younger than me. You know? Like, what the heck are you gonna do? And no. So yeah, it's kind of funny. Like asking my older brother, he'd be like, nah, like, dude, you got this. You know, you're a big boy. But my younger brother, without even asking him, he'd be right there, ready to go like a little bulldog. Like, dude, who do I gotta attack? Who is it? I got him. Don't worry about it. You don't do nothing.
That's great.
So
and I kind of had that. I had that indirectly, but it was more like the guys that I grew up with on my neighborhood, because we almost had like a neighborhood like gang. Like we would play football.
Love it. Hey, time out. What was the name of the gang? What did you have for a name?
Well, no, we were just Stony Path. Like we didn't have a name to the gang. We were just Stony Path. Like we had a group of guys that we would legit like go play football against like the other street, or we would play hockey against the other street, and we'd always whip their ass. You know, like we would always kick ass. Like because it was like me who played structured hockey, and then we had another guy, Mike, who was like 6 years older than everybody, and we had like a bunch of guys. You know, so it was a lot of fun just playing competitively against the other streets in our neighborhood. So.
It's always good to have somebody 6 years older. You know, everyone wants him on the team. So you guys had him. You know, that's good for you
we
guys.
We had to take
advantage
of it. And we're back.
Yeah. So guys, what he means by we're back is just gonna apologize. This is day 2 of the podcast. 2 days combined in this one podcast.
Day 2, but version 1. No, version 2, day 2. So.
Yeah. So I wasn't really looking at my phone there, and when we were in the heat of this podcast, just decided to die on me. Wasn't really looking at it.
I know, and I was joking. So Diddy and I met in college, and there'd be times. I only remember one time really, but I know it happened a couple times. But the one time I came back from holiday break, and your phone was in a bag of rice or a bowl of rice, and I was laughing my ass off because I was like, he must have fucking dropped it in the water or something again.
Well, I was known for, and I was after college too, for breaking phones. I wasn't the best with my phones, and as a matter of fact, the phone I'm using right now, I've only had it for a few months because I broke my phone before. So that probably doesn't surprise you, does it?
Oh, I thought you said you had that one for a while. So you had another one.
Yeah. Well, a while meaning a few months for me, yes. So.
No, that's an eternity.
I know, right?
So, yep. So day 2, going good. Both got full batteries. We're good to go.
We are. So I think when we left off, we were talking, I think we had talked about, our backgrounds and where we're from and stuff, and, you had asked if my brother had ever helped me, and I told you, he hadn't. And I actually was meaning to tell a story. So, there was, as I said, one time that he did actually help me when it was pretty serious, pretty severe, and, I was really badly hurt. So, when I was little, I was in the woods, actually, with a bunch of friends. And, hey, when Mama says don't play with sticks, don't throw sticks around. Well, Mama's right. Don't throw sticks around. Don't play with stuff, right? Because I'm in the woods playing with my friends. We're having a fun time, and, we're throwing sticks around, and, we're wrestling, and all of a sudden I'm on top of a rock, and somebody throws a stick, and that stick splits one of my eyes right in half, stuck in my eye, split my eye in half. Yeah.
I don't know if I ever heard. I thought I heard the story, but I don't know if I ever really did. I remember the first time knowing that you had your glass eye, and dude, you had obviously we all laughed about it and had a great time, but it was one of those things that was just a defining moment in your life. But it was like you could have felt bad, you could have done this, you could have done that, but you had you had that attitude of it's part of what happened, but it doesn't really define Eric Daddario,
Well, yeah. It doesn't define me in a bad way. Actually, that's a good point, because as you said, I didn't really feel bad for myself, and, hey, I was scared as hell. When that stick went in my, no. I know what you mean, but, I
can't imagine,
Yeah, and I'm actually, at the time, I had, decided to go to a prep school, and this prep school I was going to be living away, So, when that stick went in my eye, blood was gushing everywhere, and I passed out, dude. And, all of a sudden I wake up and I'm in the ambulance, and I got IVs on my arm, IVs going into my eye, and I'm freaking out. I can't see out of my eye. And I'm like, where am I and stuff? It's crazy, right? So, we'll fast forward. The doctor wouldn't perform the surgery on my eye because he didn't think he could save it. So, my dad was like, then get out of here. We don't want you. Next doctor up. Let's go. Who's going to do this for my kid, So I find a doctor who does it. Dude, guy saves my eye. 6.5 hours under the knife, dude. They say take an orange, right? Split it in half with the knife. That's what happened to my eye, dude. Lost my retina. Still to this day can't see out of it. And it's a blessing. It's a blessing. And I'll talk about that in a sec. It's a blessing I can't see out of it. I love it. I absolutely love it, dude. And So, yeah, he basically sewed my eye back together. So picture, as I said, orange being sliced in half and then sewed back together with, with thread. And so, I was absolutely just horribly scared because I was supposed to go to prep school that year. I ended up going.
So it was like younger. So you were what age? Like roughly what age?
So I was in the 7th grade going into the 8th.
Okay,
so
you were going into prep school,
Yeah. And, I'd never been away from home, like for that amount of time and stuff, prep school. I didn't know what it would bring. I didn't know if I wanted to go because, I was actually in the hospital for a few weeks, and then I was basically for 3 or 4 months, I was in my bed, the whole summer just recovering. So, yeah, and it's funny, too, talk about dreams and stuff. I mean, when I was little, I always wanted to play in the NHL, and, I can remember, just thinking, shit, I'm never going to be able to play hockey again. This is going to be hard.
It was like a smash in the face.
Yeah, so it was an eye-opener because, I remember my dad saying to me, Eric, like he had said after everything was said and done years back, when we talk about it, he was like, Eric, I remember, going home from the hospital for a few hours and walking in the garage and just, seeing your hockey back, my God, you ever going to be able to play hockey again?
It was very
you knew, yeah, and because, basically can't see out of my eye anymore. So, shut one of your eyes, put your hand over your eye, and, think about playing sports, let alone playing sports, man, walking, my depth perception.
Really.
Yeah, it was horrible. So, but it was, that is definitely defines who I am today, man. I just always, thought to myself and always still do, I had to do more than somebody. So, if somebody was, in hockey, for example, if somebody was, doing 5 sprints, shit, I had to do 10, So, I think that me losing my eye was actually a blessing in the sky because it just taught me to work harder, and it made me the person I am today. So, I feel, again, taking
the respect level everyone had for you was it was just, you could sit there and go one of 2 ways with it, and obviously you chose the path of, and really what defines why we decided to do the podcast, and I think it's pretty cool that, and I look back, I never had one defining moment like that, but I think it's just a culmination of moments, and then I look at, that's why we decided to kind of do this whole thing was because as you go through life, those moments, it may be one significant moment. It may be a loss of a loved one. You had that as well. We both lost, Rufy in college, So
yeah.
I think all those different moments define you as a person, and then all of a sudden, you become, I don't know, you just become a friggin', I don't know how to describe it because, it's just all these things.
I think that, as we said, the big thing is it kind of, first of all, it opens up your eye. It will open up your eye. No, opens up. No, opens up your eyes to basically, to the kind of, to the person that, you can become. But, as you talk about losing a loved one and stuff, when we lost Rufy, okay, so I know, me, you, and then Scotty Free, shout out to Scotty Free, and, Brandon DeFazio, and everybody that we went to school with, but
shout out to the boys.
Yeah,
we'll have to get all the boys on one of these times. That'll be fucking awesome.
We will. Yeah, the fireman from Canada, and we got ourselves an old and what do you call it? Professional hockey player.
To get on here because he's always striving for greatness. I feel like he's always wanted to do big things, and we had a lot of. I feel like we've always surrounded ourselves with people that always wanted to, be something a little bit bigger than just average. So I think it's always it always ties back to why you and I decided a year ago that we were going to do a podcast, and we never really did it, and then we finally were like, let's do it, and then we just started, and then we were just lazy about it. We didn't do it for a while.
Yeah. And guys, and that's actually that's actually another podcast we'll talk about, starting up and stuff. But we just thought that this podcast would be good just to kind of talk about our backgrounds and stuff. But that's another podcast for another day.
And we realized how simple it was to get started, and so we're going to talk about that at length because we I think we overthought it, overanalyzed it. We were like, what do we really need to do to just get started? And then we were like, all right, let's friggin' do it. And I called you up yesterday, and we did it. And here we are.
Yeah, my phone died. And, yeah, but no.
That's part of the journey, though, man. You know, we learn.
No,
you got to plug the
right.
phone in.
You're right. No, 100%. I agree. But yeah, just, you know, like, you just learn so much, and, you know, you really kind of like getting back to, like, you know, defining moments and stuff. I mean, like, you know, like when we, as I said, when we lost Ruthie, it's kind of like, all right, like, you know, we try to talk more than we used to, and, you know, because, like, you finally realize that life it's precious, man. You know, life is precious, and, you know, I think actually, you know, me and you had talked this afternoon. You know, time is precious. When you give away time, that's one thing you never get back. So it's kind of like how you spend your time and what you do with your time is very important, but also very valuable, because as that minute goes by, you can't get it back. And that's one of the things, as we talked about, is something that when you give it away, there's no way. You can't buy it back. You can't earn it back. You know, you can't take it back. You can't fight for it back. It's gone, and that's it. So I think that's one of the big things that you realize as you go through life, and then stuff happens, is as the time ticks away, you can't get it back. So then you start spending your time more preciously, you know, with people that, you know, really mean a lot to you.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to touch on that, like,
yeah,
who you spend your time with, because we were talking, you're going to hang out with a girl that you're interested in tonight. And
no, I'm not. I'm actually not. Time out.
Did she?
She blew me off, baby. It's all right.
She blew you off. Well, you know what we say about that? It's her fucking loss. She can't handle the El Dinero, and she stands him up. You better kick her to the curb, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's all done, man. I think it's all done. You know.
But what we were saying was that, you know, you were going to give her, and this is actually a good example. Like, you were going to give her your time, which is, you know, very important, and she blew, whatever reason, who knows what reason, but I've had girls blow me off for dates and things like that, and it's like, all right, I was going to give you my time and hang out with you and whatever, and if that's the case, then it's, you know, you just chalk it up as it's their loss, and, you know, another bus comes in 15 minutes, you know.
I like that, man. I've never heard that before. I'm going to use that. Another bus is coming in 15 minutes. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, and I'm riding right next to the driver, dude. You know, so.
Oh man.
I got the front seat.
I'm trying to think back on any other things that I want to talk about. I think I was talking a little bit about when I was going through, like, one defining moment. I was actually in a house. So they would do, like, evaluations for hockey, you know, and they would do, like, basically all these different, like, drills, and then you'd get rated as a player, and then they would, like, just to make sure all the teams were, like, even. And so I remember this guy, I think he was a coach or he's an evaluator, told me, like, I railroaded my skating, you know. I never brought my feet back to the center. And, like, I wasn't going to be any, like, I can't remember what the wording was, but, like, just a bad skater, basically. So, like, I remember a defining moment for me was, like, that person telling me that my skating was horrible. And then I spent so much time, like, doing private lessons. And, like, I remember those private lessons as, like, torture sessions, you know, because you're only going, like, half hour, 45 minutes, but it's only you, and you're, you know, I mean, you're doing all the skating drills and power skating and things like that. But honestly, man, like, I got to a point where skating was definitely a lot more of my strength, you know. So I just look at a lot of those things as I put in a lot of work as a kid, and I didn't realize it until, like, you and I sit down and, like, talk about it. Like, so translating that into future stuff, because obviously hockey is just for fun now. I just play once in a while, so it's like translating that work ethic, even as a kid, like from, let's just say, like, age 10 to, like, 18, 19, where I was obviously going to Clarkson and stuff, but so that work ethic for, like, 6 to 7 to 8 years was crazy. Like, I was working out, I was doing private lessons and all this stuff, and then when hockey stops, like, you you got to find. You almost, like for me, I almost had to find that work ethic again in something that I enjoy, you know. So I think, that's another topic of the podcast we were going to talk about, was like finding, like you found something that you've latched onto and you really enjoy, and so we're going to talk about not only that but also the journey to finding that.
Yeah, and I think everybody's is different. I mean, hey, you know, like look at, like, some people stumble upon it, you know. I mean, some people don't go looking for it, you know. They just kind of, I mean, I've heard of people that really enjoy stuff and, you know, all of a sudden they stumble upon it. I mean, that's kind of, I didn't really stumble upon it. I was working towards it. And again, we'll get into that in another podcast, but I mean, that kind of sort of happened to me. I don't believe in luck, to be honest with you. When someone says you're lucky, that is a crappy term, because I feel like when someone catches a break or something happens, it happens for the reason that you were working your absolute tail off. So luck is really a really crappy term for someone that's really working hard. And they deserved a minute, because it's not a huge, but a minute break. And, you know, somebody being very lucky, very, very lucky, you know, I don't really believe in that. I believe that people catch breaks and stuff happens because you worked and you deserve it. So
yeah, you make the opportunities, and you're ready for the opportunities when they come at you. You know, that kind of serendipity where you're ready for it and you step right into it. So
exactly.
No, I think, I'm trying to think anything else. I mean, so you played. Did you play like house hockey, or did you play travel, or like what was your kind of progression from like young Eric to like prep school to college? You know what I mean? Like, did you play just organized hockey, like travel, or what was your kind of upward?
Yeah, so I played in-house in my city for a little bit, and then I started playing travel. And then after travel,
You did high school too, right? Or did you go right to school?
But I went to prep school and middle school, so I didn't go right to high school. So I played prep hockey in the 8th and 9th grade, and then I found a prep school, 10th, 11th, and 12th, played there, didn't play junior hockey, and then went right to Clarkson after.
Yeah, and what was school? What was the school, the prep school you went to again? I can't remember what the hell it was.
South Kent.
South Kent, yep.
Now they call the hockey team Select Academy. So the school's still called South Kent, but now it's called Select Academy.
Oh wow, yeah, that's something different.
So they're an absolute D1 factory, actually. So
are they?
Like, kids going D1, like Colorado College, UNH. So it's pretty cool to see.
Wow.
Yeah. And, you know, I think actually, just thinking right now, you bringing up hockey, I think playing a sport is absolutely probably one of the best things you can possibly do in life, I think, because I think it teaches you so much about life. And, you know, I mean,
you don't realize it. You don't realize it. I mean, you probably do realize it, but not really until you sit back a little bit.
Exactly. Until after, like, you know, for example, think about a sports game, right? You go through, or just think about a season. You go through a bunch of ups. You go through a bunch of downs. You go through some heartbreak. It happens. You know, all that stuff happens in a season. So, I mean, I just think that you learn a ton, an absolute ton from playing a sport. Again, ups and downs, peaks and valleys, but also you learn to work with other people. It's great to learn to work with other people. It teaches you just so much stuff and to just not give up and work as a team. So I think that's one of the best things people can do.
And going even like deeper than that, like I was thinking, I was talking to Reader a little bit about like our time at Clarkson. You know, and it was like up and down, and it was crazy how just the dynamics of that situation was just kind of mind blowing. You know, because you go through it, and it's just you're really, really good, and then you're kind of expected to be good, and you go to the bottom, and you kind of have to claw your way back, and it's just. I'm just glad we kind of forged the friendships we did, and like okay, we didn't keep in touch maybe as much as we did before Rufy passed away, but it's like we just kind of felt like things were. There were a lot of lessons to be learned, like going through something like that,
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of hard, and just because actually, I mean I shouldn't make it. I'm just making an excuse right now. Then that's just something you shouldn't do. But I was gonna say, people, they get busy, but that's just an excuse. You shouldn't be making excuses, So, but yeah,
I love
people
calling yourself out, and I do the same thing. I telling myself be positive. I read all these books, all this stuff, and then last week I get fired from a job, and I'm like, you have to tell me don't feel bad for yourself. So it's kind of crazy how you could read all these stuff in books and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden when the real world hits you, it's really easy to revert back to everything that was not in the book. It's funny how that happens, and it takes a friend or it takes a conversation with a friend to say, listen, dude, stop being a bitch. Don't feel bad for yourself. No, I mean that's what it is though. There's mental things and psychology and but a lot of it is just stop feeling bad for yourself. And I think you and I talking to other people, and it's just you're gonna have to weather those ups and downs of life, and I think sports really they help me do that too. I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, and I really look at sports now in a different way though. I really like I watch the game. Come on, we're both hockey fans, right? We love to watch hockey. And if you think about it, in sports, it's kind of a lot like life. I'll give you a perfect example. Okay, you're given opportunities, and opportunities in life, you can either capitalize on them and you get bigger opportunities, which can lead to little success, and then eventually can lead to bigger success, or you can get the opportunity, you don't really produce in it, and you're not really given another opportunity, and you're kind of put back in the same situation. So I don't know the kid's name. Perfect example, watching the game last night. Love to make sports references, by the way. Love sports.
Yeah, we'll use a lot of them because, good lessons to be learned.
I completely forget the kid's name. I think it's Kerr something, I don't know. Currently, anyways, played for the Providence Bruins. Was brought up to play for the Bruins last night in an elimination game. So they're down 3-1. They're in Ottawa, right? They're playing. There's a guy who's a healthy scratch named Ryan Spooner. Just hasn't been playing well, So what happens? He gets called up. He has an opportunity. So what does he do? He scores the tying goal.
Nice.
Okay? He's absolutely playing a great game. I was talking to my brother actually before he hopped in the podcast, and I was saying, dude, this kid absolutely just crushed his opportunity. Because I haven't seen anybody forecheck like him on the Bruins in years. He's just getting in there. He's getting it done. He's banging hard. He's getting pucks to the net. Exactly. And then they go into OT, and who scores? He scores to win the game. So he 100. No, right? So he 100% capitalized on his opportunity. Now, not to say he's gonna be all right, he's done, awesome. No. Now, probably the next game, because he played so well, the
expectations are going to be so much higher.
Well, not the yeah, kind of. I wouldn't.
I don't know, because they've been through that before, probably.
Yeah.
Where they have a guy step up.
I would say he's probably his next opportunity now. Is he's probably going to get more minutes, and they're going to say, okay, let's see what he does with these more minutes because he played so good last game, right? So there you go. He succeeded in that little minute opportunity. Then he gets another little minute opportunity.
You get another slice of the pie. You say, okay, you did pretty good with this. Let's see what you're made of.
Hey, what kind of pie are we talking here? Blueberry?
Well, hey. I'm thinking a pizza pie, but you know me, I got a couple extra pounds on me, trying to work it off with the El Diddlero workout plan.
Hey, you got it,
I
kid.
need to
Let's
get on
go.
a strict diet, man. I need to stop eating all that garbage. That's for damn sure.
I've had a little ice cream. You know, you got to treat yourself sometimes. Just a little, you know.
You had a little ice cream? You had a little ice cream?
I did, dude. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and
What
lie, you kid.
What kind of ice cream?
Dude, it's called,
Was it the healthy ice cream that everybody's like making a big deal about?
It is. As a matter of fact, let's pull it out here. Hold on. I'm in my kitchen. What we got here?
God,
So
I wish you were gonna say like legit full on like
no, wait a minute.
chocolate chip cookie dough or something.
No, I wish to, but it's called So Delicious Dairy Free Almond Milk Mocha Almond Fudge Ice Cream. So
so what's the sweetener? Is it like stevia or what the hell makes it sweet?
Let's see.
Read the ingredients list. Let's for the viewers read because this might be a recommendation.
Cane sugar, water. We have some organic almonds, sunflower. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to say it's the cane sugar.
I'm gonna say the cane. I'm gonna say the cane sugar's. That's gonna go ahead and sugar it up pretty good.
Yeah, it's not the best for you, but you know.
Hey,
what can you do? Right.
I along the same lines as that, I don't drink milk anymore. I literally always
okay,
but milk.
But
dude.
listen,
I don't know.
Dairy's not the best thing for you, my man.
I've heard.
Dude, I mean, if there's nothing else,
I haven't bought a gallon of milk in however long, but I mean, I still love like a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch or something, but. I just haven't done it in a while.
I hear you, man. I hear you, 100%.
So,
you know.
Now we're on an ice cream tangent.
Yeah, yes, I'm not a big ice cream guy. You know, it's funny actually. That's funny.
I'm the opposite. I love like a friggin' like those blizzards or something from Dairy Queen. Oh my god.
Okay, yeah.
Put in some Reese's peanut butter cups and ice cream and.
Those are money, man. You kidding me? Those are
so
money.
Good.
But I'm trying to stick with. Even when I'm treating myself, I'm still trying to go healthy. You know.
Oh, that's smart, man. You got to watch out for the figure.
Yeah, well, eventually that figure's gonna, you know. So. Exactly. So we'll see what happens with that.
So getting back, trying to wrangle it back in here. I don't think I have anything else in terms of my childhood. I mean, I could go through like my progression in hockey, but it's pretty different than yours, I would say, just because I actually played house. I kind of battled my way into travel. Was never like the most highly skilled guy. I was always I remember being like definitely a hard worker, but I always was a guy that was willing to make the check or, I was always a physical type guy, even though I wasn't the biggest guy. I remember playing like on a peewee team, and they used to call me, there's this one guy that was a dad on the team, and he'd call me the pizza man because I would always deliver, I'd be delivering the checks here and there, So he'd be like, if I hit somebody, he'd be like, the pizza man delivered. So I was never afraid, and even all the way up through, I never shied away from a nice body check, But growing up, I was played travel, tried out for some teams that were a little bit higher caliber, and I didn't make them, so I ended up playing. They called it Monroe County hockey, which was kind of the second tier in the city. So played that all the way up through, and then I played high school hockey for 2 years, and I didn't play much my first year. Second year, I jumped in and was like power play and penalty kill, all the whole 9 yards, And my coach in high school was actually going to coach the junior B team in Rochester at the time. And that was pretty legendary because, like, at that time, the junior B team was like professional rules, so you could fight and you could, like, get 5 minutes and you'd be back out there. So it was actually it was a really fun league. We had enforcers on our team, so they'd go out and just fight, and it was pretty funny. And so I played 2 years there, graduated high school, went to New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Played under the legendary Coach Tremblay. Obviously, we've been talking about him lately because he's still just winning and winning and winning and winning.
Yeah, just won a champion. Dude,
yeah,
just won a championship. Hey, dude, that's a great guy, Tom. We should, yes, you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah, we should try to get him on the podcast. That would be amazing.
Because, dude, that's a guy right there that has he knows how to build a winning culture.
Yeah. And I told you, I never sugarcoated him, and a lot of, he's very, very demanding and, expected us to do drills like almost perfectly. I remember there were a lot of memories I had, like my couple years there, that kind of defined that whole experience. But, just doing a drill and like missing passes, and he'd be like, stopping the drill and making us do it again, like until we executed the passes the right way. It's just like that attention to detail.
Okay, you know what that sounds like? Honestly,
who's that?
Sounds like Bill Belichick, the greatest coach ever. So,
the greatest coach ever.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So I kind of wonder who Tremblay's like influences were. You know what I mean? Because he was like a Division III goalie, and I don't know exactly what his background was, but like I'm very curious. Like, where did he get his coaching style from? Like some of that stuff.
Yeah, no, we should definitely try. I mean, hey, if my brother's playing for him next year, maybe we can, so.
Yeah, get it going. But so yeah, we won back to back there, cups, whatever you want to call them. So it was a good experience. I didn't play a whole lot. Actually, this is actually a good thing because I can talk about my first year, and I was like a sixth defenseman. I really wasn't a impact player, but in the championship game actually against the Bruins, I made a mistake, and I remember it like it was. You talk about capitalizing on opportunities. Well, like mine was the opposite. Like I didn't capitalize on the opportunity, and I made a mistake, and I ended up getting benched for like the second half of the game. So you kind of look back on some of that stuff, and you're like, holy crap, like that. Not only do the successes when you get opportunities define you, but also those moments where they really sting. Like you flat out failed. There's no other way around it.
Dude, 100%. You learn more from your failures than you do your successes, and if you can just take a step back and try to clear your head and be like, all right, I messed up. Think about what you did. And then say to yourself, okay, next time I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So I really feel like, 100% everybody fails. And it's just a part of the process. It's just failing is a part of the process. If you're afraid to fail, well, then I got news for people out there. You're not going to succeed. If you don't want to fail, if you're so afraid to fail that, you don't want to do something, then, just don't do anything. You're just going to fail.
Yeah, you might as well just sit inside and not do anything.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do. You're going to fail. You're going to happen. But you just have to, keep going and learn from your mistakes. That's all.
Yeah, pretty. It sounds pretty simple, but harder in practice sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Harder when it really actually happens. It's kind of like when you're shooting. It's actually funny. I was talking to one of my clients today. He's a diver, and he's saying how he's really nervous next weekend because he has North Carolina or Texas coming to watch him dive. And I'm like, dude, you just got to realize that all it is practice. Practice with people around you. That's it. It's just practice with spectators watching. That's all. Just pretend like they're not even there. And I know that's easier said than done, but if you can mentally,
no, I know.
Prepare and just pretend like they're not there, and your heart doesn't race as much, and you're not paying, you're not what do you call it? You're not thinking about it too much, and you're going to do better. So, I mean, it's mental preparation's huge, It's huge.
Yeah, it's a hard thing because you can overthink things for sure. I think we both probably have been there where you overthink something and you end up almost paralyzing yourself and you don't do as well as you could put a lot of thought into it. I've always found like when I was playing well was when I wasn't really overthinking it. I was just kind of going out and kind of loose, having fun, like joking, not joking around. There's different ways of going about it. Like obviously I never got to the NHL or anything major, but it's kind of crazy that you could have almost better performances when you were more relaxed, kind of joking around, just not really serious. But then there's other guys, that their formula was they were serious and they had to have that game face on, So I think it's your personal style that you kind of find out over time.
Yeah, I mean, just like anything, I think about it. People have different styles to everything. People swing a baseball bat differently, right? People run differently. People throw a lacrosse ball differently. People throw a baseball differently. So that's the same exact thing. Different styles do different things. That's exactly what you're talking about. I mean, Some people, as I said, some people relax for a game. I've seen it. I've seen before a hockey game, people relax. They go up there and they actually play on rail. And some people need to be jacked up, banging their head out the wall before they go up the ice and play.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's personal preference. That's all it is.
Well, I think that was pretty good. We had about 20 minutes on the other one that we were kind of going through our childhood stuff and getting up to the point of where we're at now, which there's still a few more years. Obviously, going through college, that's where you and I met. Going through Clarkson and had some interesting years there, up and down. And
same roomies,
Yeah, we were roommates. 3 years, right? 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah. So that was.
It was me, you, Ruthie, and Mike, and then we split off, and it was me and you.
Yep, and then we kicked Rufy out. No, I'm just kidding. That
No.
was fun. Actually, I kind of made up with Rufy because I told him, I was like, I think I personally was like, yeah, I don't really want to live with Rufy. I think I said that. I ended up, because I kind of remember that after like senior year, I was like, Rufy, man, I kind of apologized. I was like, but he went and lived with all the whatever off campus, and he made a bunch of friends over there, so he fit in fine. They lived in that like church or something, not church, but where the nuns used to live.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And now, hey, we're here, man. And we're just, as I said, just two ordinary kids just working our absolute bags off every day, trying to make it. And I know a lot of people out there listening to this are doing the same thing, So, that's all you can hope for. Just work your bag off and good things come.
Yeah, and I think we realize that everybody has their own little unique deals that they've been through, and childhood experiences all the way up through to where you're currently at, whether you're 20, you're 30, you're 50. One thing we've realized is it's never too late to find that work ethic where you're talking about, sometimes it does take, maybe somebody listens to this podcast that we never thought maybe he's in a tough spot, and they're like, oh, shit, they listen to something, and that makes them work in a different way or, pursue something they maybe didn't think they were going to pursue. And that was the whole point, when you have conversations like you and I have had, in the past about kind of that growth, and working hard and, always trying to be something better than you were yesterday, be better today than you were yesterday. And, I just hope that somebody may listen to it and be like, oh, shit, maybe I'm not in the best spot right now. Like even me personally, like I take it personal because I'm not in the best spot right now. So I think that's cool that we can just talk honestly about where we're at and
I mean,
and then in 10 years or 5 years or whatever, it's like, you know, we're in a way different spot and the conversations are a little bit different.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think we're still, you know, as you said, we're kind of in different places. You know, I've kind of found what I want to do, the two things I kind of want to balance and do, and you've been trying stuff out, and you kind of, you know, you're still looking for what you want to do. So, you know, it's just like people have different ways of, you know, getting ready for a sporting event, or, you know, as I said, the throw ball is different, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's in different stages in their life towards their success. Some people have found it and they're on their way. Some people are still looking for it. Some people are young and have already found it. Some people are in their mid-30s, 40s, and still haven't found it, you know? So, I mean, everybody needs to kind of wake up every day, I feel. This is one of the things I feel people kind of, you know, do, I guess I could say, a poor job of, is they always look at others and try and compare themselves with others. But they have to realize, that, like, they have to realize that, like, you know, other people, like, people are different. You know, as I just said, people are at different levels in their life. So, you know, as I said, someone may already, you know what they want, but somebody doesn't already know what they want. And you're going after different things. And so it's not that you're not going to get there. Maybe somebody is, you know, well ahead of you and chasing their dream and being successful. But it doesn't mean that you won't be there. Perfect example, you know, got to give a shout out, you know, to one of my hugest mentors ever, Eric Thomas. Got to give a shout out to him, you know. He's actually probably, you know, one of the people out there that definitely got me going and, you know, kind of got me to realize that, you know, this is kind of what I want to do, one of the things I want to do in the future. So shout out to ET, you know, listen to a podcast every day, always watching your videos, love it. But it took him 12 years to get a 4-year degree. So, in a sense, it didn't mean he wasn't going to get it, but it took him a much longer time than other people. But now look at him. Now look at what he's done, you know?
Yeah.
And it took him 12 years to get a 4-year degree, but now he's absolutely, like, as he said, he's running circles around the people that graduated 4 years in the summa cum laude, you know, who are absolutely, like, the smartest people, you know, in school and stuff. So, I mean, people are on different paths. And so people get discouraged, I feel, because, like, they're not seeing results and stuff that other people are seeing.
Yep, and not almost letting their happy, like, and all the stuff that I try to talk about is, like, just for me personally, like, I'm not trying to, like, say something else. I'm just saying, like, a lot of times I notice that I'm like, oh, you know, it's almost like, not jealousy, but you kind of, like, you almost feel like, oh, man, like, this guy's got this or whatever, and then you literally have to, you know, almost self-talk yourself to say, listen, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you are where you're at because this is exactly where you need to be at, like, at this moment in time, and that could be in a great spot, or that could be in a spot where you need to develop yourself a little bit more and become a better person. And the one thing I realized, too, and a lot of the personal, like, development and all that stuff is, you know, taking ownership for your circumstances. And I had a thought today where I found myself blaming, and this goes back to, you know, maybe some of you don't know or do know, I had a job early in the year, and I ended up getting let go last week. And like, I found myself blaming almost a situation, like, hey, they didn't give me enough structure, they didn't do this or that. And then it's like, wait a minute, you know, take that ownership on yourself, like, take the personal responsibility. And I think a lot of people talk about it, like Gary Vaynerchuk talks about it. I think probably ET has said it a lot of times, like, take that ownership. And if you find yourself blaming other things of why you're not successful, I don't know if I agree with that. You know, I do believe there's like companies can provide a framework for you to be successful. Like I listen to what you do with Mike Boyle. I think he provides a framework to be successful in the industry. And so I think there are good and bad things where I don't know if I was in the greatest framework, but I still take personal responsibility of the failures that I had, you know, and so it's kind of a weird dynamic there, but I just wanted to touch on that, like, even if you're not where you're at, like, still kind of step up to the plate and be like, I'm not where I'm at because of the choices that I've done or not done. So just something that I thought about today.
Well, that's a great way to look at it. And if you don't mind me chiming in on that, I actually honestly have a different perspective on how to look at that, you know? So I definitely, you know, agree with your perspective on it. And, you know, you're not blaming, and I think that's awesome. There's actually a great book out there. I think what it's called, Complete Ownership or something. I'll have to, it's a really good book. It's actually by an ex-Navy SEAL. It's really cool. And how, you know, basically, you know, everything that, like, if one person fails in the unit, then everybody fails. And it's actually the person who's in charge's fault mostly. Maybe because he didn't, like, you know, instruct everybody the right way or say the right thing. It's a really cool book. So I'll have to try and, you know, find out the end of it. But, so I would say failures are I almost look upon failures or, you know, getting fired or something as an absolute blessing. Because if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
No, seriously, you might laugh at it. But
it's so true though. Yeah, right? And it is true. And you gotta also think, dude, it wasn't meant to be. And again, I'll go back to what we just said. What's the most valuable thing? Right? Time. And so you spent time working at this place, and your time was being wasted because this is probably what you weren't going to do in the future. This is what you want to put here. I believe everybody is put here for success in something. Now, people are successful because some people find out what they're supposed to do. All right? So everybody has a success in something. But as I said, some people find a success and they're successful, and some people never find a success, so they're not successful. So, for example, that wasn't what you were going to be successful. So now you're on to looking for the next thing that, you know, what's the next thing? You're on your way to looking towards that thing that you are going to be successful at. So which is exciting, and that's what you're saying about the blessing is it frees you up to continue the search, basically.
Exactly. So I know people who, you know, be really frustrated and discouraged if they get fired. And, you know, maybe that is what they were supposed to do, actually, but maybe this wasn't the right company for them. So if they get fired and they know that's what they're supposed to do and they love doing it, maybe that wasn't the right company for them, you know? So, I mean, everything in this world happens for a reason. Everything, you know? Like, I honestly think that whether negative or positive, everything happens for a good reason. For a reason that is good, you know? I mean, you know, perfect example, a little bit over a year ago, hey, I lost my younger brother, Brendan, to a drug overdose. Now, at the time, dude, you know, was, and obviously, and still, like, you know, it eats away at me every day.
Shock.
Yeah, you know, shock. And just to think, you know, we're never going to see it again. But, what did it do? Dude, and again, this will be another podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's going to be another one about the why.
Another one. But, dude, my why. There you go. There's my why. He drives me every single day. So, you know, and, you know, maybe for my mother, I don't know. Maybe it's something different in her life. Maybe for my father. Maybe for my other brother. But it happened for a reason, okay? It happened for a reason. And you know what? Ever since that happened, ever since he passed away, my family's been tighter. You know, I mean, you know, I'm not going to say that, you know, like we didn't have holidays together and stuff, but
my family meets up more. I don't just mean, like me and my immediate family and brothers and my mom and dad. We actually try and meet up and, we'll go out to eat once a week and hang out. I try to do that with them because I see now how valuable life is, So I just try and spend as much time as I can with them to make good memories. But my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, we all hang out more now, We have family gatherings, And then another thing, just kind of thinking off the top of my head, we started a fund for my brother. And every year now we run in a road race and we raise money. And we have a fund for him. And what that fund does is that fund funds people to go through the process of rehab to get clean from addiction. So I think we raised like 40 grand so far to help people through the process of addiction, because that's what he did. He just loved to help people. So that's another positive thing. So, we're making a negative into a positive, That's just, so.
All right, taking a pee.
All right.
Taking a quick pee break here. It's been a long episode.
Tom, are you going to edit this?
Edit it?
Yeah.
What do you mean, edit it?
I don't know. But, yeah, so, I mean.
Yeah, we can, I'll try to edit. I don't know, just cut it up or whatever.
All right. But, yeah, so, that's just kind of my whole spiel on that. Is that kind of like, dude, like, stuff happens for a reason. You may not want it to happen, but it's supposed to happen because it happens.
It's almost like a test, right? Like, it almost is like a stress test.
It is. When you want to know something, man, and this is my thought, is that there's nothing I can't do in this world now. Like, legitimately, I have the mentality, I want to fly, I'm going to go freaking jump off my deck right now and try to fly. Because you want to know something, dude? Like, I got through that. I can do anything I want now. Because there's really not much more in this world that's going to come at me and be
you can't handle.
Exactly. Be as painful, be as hard that I can't handle and I can't do. And that's my whole mentality thought process. So, like, I wake up every day and I'm just like, all right. I'm just like, I'm going to absolutely crush this because there's nothing that can stand in my way that I can't defeat that. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not going to fail because obviously I'm going to fail a ton. Hey, it's going to happen. But what I'm saying is I don't just stop thinking, oh, it's just too hard, I can't do it. Oh, no, that's impossible. No, it isn't. I never think that anymore. And yeah, I used to. I'm not going to lie. I used to think that. But, dude, I got through that. There just isn't anything. There just isn't anything that I will be faced with that I don't think I can do. I think I can do whatever I want. Whatever I want to do now. I just think I can. And that's kind of thought process that I've got with kind of going through what I do in my life, So,
yeah. That's powerful, man. That's powerful.
Oh, yeah. It's just like it's.
And you've helped me. You've helped me try to, almost define that why, because, when the times get tough, it's so easy to quit, man. To take the easy way out. And I'm talking from experience because I've stopped things, I've quit jobs, I've done stuff, and it's because I haven't had a strong enough why of why I'm doing certain things, and then it becomes easy to say, I'm done with this shit. Like, I don't really want to weather the storms because, the why just doesn't get me going through it. So, you've definitely helped me kind of just keep thinking about that. And whether it could be your family, it could be, and I've kind of been using that. I almost do. I do use it, like, my family as my why, and kind of preliminarily, it's like what other why do I have other than just, and it's not like I have to provide for my family because I don't, but just more so just the work ethic and the type of character that I'm setting the example for, kind of walking my own walk, because you read about all this stuff or personal development and all that stuff, and it's like the worst thing in the world is if you read and watch all these YouTube videos and then all of a sudden
you're not doing it. You know, you don't do anything about it. You keep wasting all this time, spending time watching these videos, and you don't do anything about it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, because it doesn't really. I mean, it doesn't. You know, you just think, yeah, you know, whatever. Like, all right, you know, and you don't really like just sit back and think like, oh, okay, like, yeah, that could be helpful, you know. But also too, and again, you know, you're busy, but again, going back to, you know, that's just, you know, I mean, well, not just you in general, but, you know, talking about people in general, when that stuff comes along and people say, like, you know, E.T. will say, you got to find your why, and Gary Vee will talk, people are probably just, they're busy. But again, that's just kind of like, you know, it's kind of, I guess you could say it's almost to not do it. Look, to not do anything, you're just being pure lazy, and it's an excuse, and that's it.
Correct.
But, you know.
Yeah, and somebody has to call you out. And if you're a person that is around somebody that is like that, you need to be the person that calls them out. Like, same thing you did to me. You know, if you're not benefiting anybody in your immediate circle of your life. If you notice somebody in your circle that might be down a little bit, you don't call them out on their BS, you know. So I think people sometimes are just too nice, and myself included. Sometimes I don't say something that's on my mind, like, you know. So I think a lot of that is areas for me to kind of keep improving on. So
yeah. Hey, everybody's got room for improvement, man. It's not just you.
Yep. So, well, all right, man. Doing pretty good.
You know, I think we're gonna end every podcast with this. You know, I think we're grinder of the week, man. You know, and
grinder of the week.
And guys, this is gonna be, you know, for those of you listening, this is gonna be somebody that, you know, kind of sticks out in our mind. You know, that we've noticed really puts in that time, that work, you know, towards their craft, or maybe just, you know, towards really hustling during the week. And it doesn't have to be somebody that you know by name, you know, relationship. It can simply be the guy at the gas station who you go to get gas in the morning at 5 a.m. He's there, and you drive by to go home at 10 p.m. and he's still there, you know? So, I mean, that's what we're defining our grinder as the week as, is, you know, someone that, you know, we really feel strongly is really just putting forth that effort and grinding out the week towards whatever their goals are, you know, whatever their successes are, and they're really just putting forth that effort. So I guess I'll go first.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, you know, my grinder of the week, to be honest with you, it is someone that, you know, I hold dear in my heart very closely. I do know this person by name because she would actually be my mother. Yeah, no, Jane Daddario. Let me tell you.
Just
let me tell you. Good, yes, good Jane. Sweet Jane, you know, I think, and I nominated her for my grinder of the week just because, you know, throughout my life, you know, raising 4 hellion boys, you know. No, seriously, raising 4 hellion boys, and finds the time her whole life to work multiple jobs. And you want to know something? She's even stronger than ever right now in that category. She's a secretary at a plumbing company. She works at 2 different units in a hospital, and then she works at another hospital. She's constantly working, whether it's at the house, you know, helping us kids out, or whether it's at the hospital. She's constantly working. She works at least 6 days a week, at least, you know, and then those so-called days off, she's helping us kids out with what we do. She's filling out paperwork for stuff. She's constantly on that grind.
Yeah, I've had a personal opportunity to meet Jane, and she is a workhorse, so to speak.
Hey, that Italian, we call it gravy, you know. Woo! You know, hey,
that was amazing.
Hey,
I forgot about that.
Hey, Mamma Mia, that's what I mean. When she's on the grind too, we're still talking. She's in the kitchen cooking up that sauce.
Well, fuck now. If I don't talk about my mother, it's gonna be unfair. But you know what? No, I'm just gonna copy you, dude. I have to do it. I have to talk about my mother.
I like it.
You know, I actually had another individual who was an Uber. I'll give him the honorable mention, but just to talk about, because I mean, all those things you talked about. Now, my mother she didn't work multiple jobs, but as a stay-at-home mom, she was with me and my sister, and we actually had almost like not like a daddy daycare, but like people would come over and drop their kids off. So she was home, but she didn't stay on her laurels, you know what I mean? She was always having people over to babysit and just to continue to, you know, earn something and not just be, you know, hey, I'm just going to sit home and not do anything, you know. And it's just so fun to grow up and then be at a point where, like, I hate to admit it, but, you know, some of these times in my life where, you know, you get to a point where you're fired from a job, you're whatever, you know, whatever the case is, and, you know, you can read all these books, and it's like your mother is the one that encourages you to say, listen, you know, keep your head up, be positive, this and that. Like, so I think Grinder of the Week is also like a mental grinder too, is like, you know, you have to grind through the times that are rough, you know, and sometimes it takes your mother, it takes your father, it takes somebody close to you. And, you know, through these times I've kind of leaned on, you know, not only my mother, but my father. And, you know, I just obviously got to give her the love that is very much needed. And, you know, it's just it's a crazy time when you're 30 and you still don't know what you want to do when you grow up. So it's like you need those grinders in your life to kind of keep you sane. So yeah, the honorable mention though, a guy, I can't remember the hell his name. I think it was Eli. Eli was his name, and the kid, I picked him up at a drug testing facility, you know, like a urgent care, and he was getting a drug test, and he had just got another job, and basically works a full-time job during the week, but then he was getting a drug test to start another job to do like a night shift, and basically just friggin' hustled two jobs. And he ended up giving me a $10, and this is through Uber because that's basically what I've been doing lately. And he gave me a $10 bill because he knew I was hustling Uber, and he's just like, man, I respect it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get my second job. And so it was pretty cool deal just to hear his story and how he's, you know, working two jobs. So a lot of respect for somebody like that. Some random person that you don't really know, but you just kind of respect the work ethic they have. So yeah, I had two grinders of the week. So
there you go, buddy. I like that.
So
All right. Well, I think that concludes our first podcast for the Journey for Greatness.
Yeah, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Have a great week, guys, and keep grinding.
Keep the hustle going.
That's it. Keep pounding away. Take care.
All right. See you, Diddy.
See ya.